Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bullhammer Gaming. Today we are going to be resuming The Outer Worlds Part 2. Previously, we found ourselves on the ship called Hope. We and some other colonists were put on a hibernation. We were awakened by a fugitive named Phineas Wells. Then we found under attack by some conspiracy. In order to save us and our colonists, we need to begin our journey in Emerald Vale. And I'm gonna creeping on him. So apparently these marauders have killed some citizens, residents. I love this look.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend.
I'm just passing through.
Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices.
We could lie and say, "Nice to meet you. I'm Alex Hawthorne, Captain of the Unreliable." Yeah, I don't wanna lie and say I'm Alex Hawthorne. I never got your name. I'm Bull.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Junior in humor. Fancy title for a gravedigger.
Hey, I earned that fancy title. Started off a lowly junior gravesite builder, then junior interment engineer. Oh, and I was a junior burial assistant for a time.
You seem pretty old to be junior anything.
The rate I've been working, I'm bound to earn a promotion. Must be about 50, 60 burials away from associate in humor.
Who do I talk to about a power regulator?
Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Depends on the job. Depends on the work. You offering me a job?
Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. We rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see?
You're making people pay for their own graves?
Company policy. If it was up to me, I'd put the whole town 10 feet under, free of charge.
Alright, I'll collect your fees for you.
4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Why is Abernathy a special case?
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up.
Where can I find these people?
Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad.
There was something else I wanted to ask you.
Yeah?
You lose a lot of people to marauders?
Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards.
What are they after, loot?
Oh no. They are after the most precious loot of all. Spacer's Choice Company property. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna dock my pay.
This town must be in pretty bad shape if it's keeping you employed.
You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, brave in the wilds.
You're not worried about falling sick?
Every now and again, a virulent plague sweeps through our town. That's life on the frontier, I suppose. A body grows accustomed.
How long have you been a junior inhumer, grave digger, whatever?
Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the 1... all my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees. Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding.
If you got a marauder problem, I can take care of it.
Well, if you're gonna go headhunting, talk to Constable Reyes back in town. She pays for marauders by the finger.
Any idea where they're coming from?
Couldn't tell you. No, I mean, I'm contractually prohibited from saying anything that might reflect poorly on Spacer's Choice. Ah, avoid it. Shouldn't have said that either. Look, forget I said anything.
Thanks for your time. So we have a task or a side quest. Small grave matter. Theodore Granger. Lifetime net value 3092 bits. So apparently in Spacer's choice, in this community, people's lives have literally value. People are literally worth it here. Samuel Cadden. Lifetime net value 6385 bits. So this is how much the person valued when he died. Vicky O'Neill. Epitaph pending calculation. Apparently they don't know how much she worth.
Beats working at the cannery.
Steal, everything around here. I don't want to steal. Early retirement. Do you want to end your years in luxury and comfort? Do you dream of walking beneath the vaulted arcs of Byzantium? Early retirement is finally here. Early retirement is your ticket to Byzantium. Byzantium. Early retirement is Chairman Rockwell and Minister Clark's gift to you. Selection for the early retirement process is by lottery. Winners enjoy an all expense paid trip to their new life in Byzantium, the jewel of Halcyon. Edgewater, Saltuna Cannery. Terminal access. Welcome, Junior Inhumer. From Inhumers Association to Spacer's Choice Junior Inhumer Emerald Well Division. Subject: a special offer. Dear reader, your subscription to the Inhumers Association newsletter has expired. We'd like to invite you to renew your subscription. Act now and we'll throw in a copy of our newest publication, Sowell's Gazette and Quarterly. From Spacer's Choice Human Resources to Spacer's Choice Junior Inhumer Emerald Well Division. Subject: official advertisement text. Edgewater Cemetery is a property of the Spacer's Choice Company. The Spacer's Choice family takes care of its own, from the cradle to the grave. Graveside plots and headstones are provided by Spacer's Choice at an affordable rate. Comfortable, spacious plots, custom engraved headstones and monograms, complimentary eulogy courtesy of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. Let your spirit rest in the privacy of a Spacer's Choice brand gravesite. Even the graves are a business. Now to the town Edgewater. A dead resident. And a mod. Damage letter. Anna, your mother passed away from plague. She wasn't chosen to receive medical treatment and failed to recover on her own. I found a site near the ocean to bury her. I know it's a company policy to have her buried in the graveyard, but I just can't afford the fees. I'm heading out after dark to put her to rest. Say my final goodbyes and all. I know it's dangerous to go out alone at night, but I have to chance it. And if you're reading this, I want you to know that your mother was a good person. Don't blame her for what happened. She worked as hard as she could. It just wasn't hard enough in the end. Love, Dad.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you.
Staying long?
Keep your distance, friend. This house is no place for a traveler.
I appreciate the company and all, but you really ought to leave. You don't want to be seen around me.
Why not?
Because I'm sick. You don't want to associate with people in the sick house. We're not worth your time. I'm in about as much trouble as I can be. No reason you ought to be tarnished by association. People are gonna talk.
Why? What's going on here?
Figured it was obvious. I got sick. Couldn't get better on my own. Got moved here for everyone's sake. Maybe you don't know this, but there's a real simple reason you don't talk to the plagued. You don't want what we've got.
Special dialogue, medical. I got some training. I could take a look at you.
Don't. Please. I could get into a lot of trouble.
You obviously need help.
That's kind of you to say, I suppose. But I don't need help. What I need is to understand my own folly. Company always tells us, weak spirits lead to weak bodies. If I didn't want to fall sick with plague, maybe I should have worked harder. Maybe I should have taken more pride in my work.
That's a shitty thing to say. That's ridiculous. You can't blame yourself because you fell sick.
I really wish you wouldn't say those sorts of things. I told you once already. People could be listening. I'm feeling a touch faint. If you don't mind, I'd like to be alone for a spell.
I'll leave you be.
I've never seen an outfit like yours before. You're not from around here, are you?
Oh, that is good.
Sick days come out of my pay.
What are these, rodents? Ah, these poor people. Ah, this resident died.
Company ammo! What was that? Time to collect a fine bounty! Take weight of company ammo!
What the hell is going
Stay
on?
down, miscreant!
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
Do your haircuts usually come with free lectures?
We don't believe in free anything here in Edgewater. We're a Spacer's Choice company. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
Oh, I was sure to come by when I die. I'm looking to repair my ship.
A ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. This is what happens when you let your imagination run wild. I don't approve of fantasizing. It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a look inside your head.
Your vicar?
Vicar Maximilian, our man from the OSI, here to spread the message of scientism like a soothing balm upon a feverish head. Or so you'd expect. You'll find him in our local church, probably neglecting his duties.
You don't seem to like him much.
He doesn't seem to like us much. The vicar has not been with us long, and in his relatively short tenure in Edgewater, gives off the distinct whiff of superiority.
Silas sent me to collect your dues.
Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
You mean you're broke?
As broke as pie crust, friend. Bidless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
You have a very loose definition of the word prosperity.
Edgewater is built on the discipline and sacrifice of its people. Say what you will about our town, but we all pull together. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
Hang on, medical rights?
Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings.
Just give Silas an IOU.
Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions.
I'll let you know if I think of anything.
Much obliged.
Let's see. This can be collateral. Can we steal it? I'm going to save first.
What do you think you're doing?
Apparently we can't steal it.
Just don't make any trouble for me, okay?
Let's reload. We're gonna talk to him about that.
What can I do for you? Go ahead.
There is an option for him to suggest a collateral. This can be a collateral, can it? Conrad. Receptionist shot himself. This is bad. Company is going to have to call it for what it is. Destruction of Spacer's Choice property. Eugene was an asset and somebody has to pay his body price. This is gonna ruin us. So I was thinking that we pawn off his teeth. Eugene had a full set of gold teeth. Heirlooms. Passed down his family or something. You're processing his body, right? Just dig around and pry them out. We sell the teeth somewhere, nice and quiet. Use the bits to pay his body price. Nobody's the wiser. What do you think? Don't write back, in fact. Don't talk to me at all. Just give me a special signal next time you see me. Waggle your eyebrows. Phyllis G.
What can I do for you?
I know about Eugene. Why not use his teeth as collateral for your graveside fees?
You know about Eugene? How?
I found a note from Phyllis.
Then, you know Phyllis suggested selling off Eugene's gold teeth. I didn't approve of the idea then, and I don't approve of it now. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave.
I'm sure he won't miss them.
That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's Choice. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
You're going to have to.
Yes, I suppose I must. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
Goodbye. Cantina.
You read the latest report?
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
If only McDevitt's folk hadn't abandoned us. Cannery could use those extra hands.
Nothing we can do about that.
Sure there is. We can have another 0G.
I don't know you.
I'm Bull.
Amelia Kim, Spacer's Choice beverage dispenser. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here.
Perception. Something going on here that I should know about?
Am I that easy to read? Yeah, we've been having some problems lately. Loyalty issues, lines in the sand. I know where folk in Edgewater stand. But you, I don't know you. If you're gonna have a drink, I'd like to ask that you do it within the premises. Can't have you taking drinks over to those deserters.
What's this about deserters?
Traitors. The lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds to fend for their own selves. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you?
I want to talk to Reed. Where can I find him?
Do you now? And what makes you think Mr. Thompson wants to talk to you? He's a busy man. You want to talk to Mr. Thompson, try ignoring your duties. He'll summon you up to that great big tower atop the cannery, and you'll get yourself a proper dressing down.
You say that like it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. If you're not pulling your weight, you don't deserve to live here. Simple as that.
There was something else I want to talk to you.
Go ahead.
So, what's your story?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Persuade. I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just curious.
You're the first to ask after me in some time. I'll give you that. But I don't have a story to share. My family's worked Spacer's Choice for 2 generations, and I've lived in Edgewater just about all my life. Wanted to work in the sciences once upon a time. Would you believe it? That was a wild fancy. Glad I disabused myself.
Perception. So you had a dream of being a scientist. What happened?
What happened, you ask? What always happens when you're dreaming. I woke up. I just didn't have the brains for it. Asked too many questions. Wasn't suited to the work. So I did the right thing and worked the life I was always meant to live. Now that I'm behind a bar, I can ask all the questions I want. Important ones. Like, when are you gonna pay your tab? And would you like another round of cold, refreshing 0G?
Yeah, exactly. Asking questions is part of the science. Science. Asking questions is the foundation of science. The best scientists ask too many.
Don't talk to me that way, please. Spent many years disabusing myself of that notion. Don't need you putting it back in my head. Lab work ain't for me. Never was. Never will be. Spacer's Choice put me where I belong, and for that I am grateful.
Sounds like Spacer's Choice took care of you.
They did. They gave me a life. Gave me a purpose. This is where I belong.
You've been scrubbing dishes all your life?
What's wrong with that? It's good, honest work. Pots and pans don't scrub themselves. Glasses don't fill themselves either. Unless you're in Byzantium. I hear everything's automated there. Not that I'll ever find out.
I have a feeling that this Byzantium is not gonna be what's it look like.
Not so fast. I told you about my life. Your turn to tell me about yours. So, what's your story?
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
That right? Prove it.
Ah, what the hell. I'm the last survivor of the colony ship Hope. Everyone else is frozen.
Ah, I know that serial drama. They were playing it just the other night. What was it called? The Last Spacer? You're right. I don't believe you. I'd advise you to keep that story unsaid. Don't want people thinking you're a loon.
What if I told you I just got shot into space by a crazy scientist?
Ugh, is this the start of a joke? If you want me to laugh at your jokes, it's a 3-drink minimum.
I wish it was a joke. Honestly, I don't even know where I am.
Most folk forget where they're standing after a few drinks. Seems to me you've got a head start. Anyhow, whatever happens outside the walls is not my business. Only deserters and marauders wander out there, and I cannot tell you which I revile more. My world is these 4 walls, that door, and a row of mugs that need cleaning.
Perception. It almost sounds like you're afraid to go outside.
Let me make something clear. Spacer's Choice has been real good to me. The town's been real good to me. I start gallivanting around outside the walls, poking around in places I shouldn't be, learning things I've got no right to know. People will talk. Won't ever catch me asking about the world outside. Else the town's gonna say Amelia's gone soft. That Amelia's pondering desertion. I don't want that.
I imagine you'd want to get out of town. What with the plague and all.
Keep it down, will you? We don't talk about the PLAYGE. Not here. And if you're smart, you won't mention it anywhere. I've said enough. People come here to drink their problems away. If they wanted to face their problems, they'd go see our vicar.
I should go.
Never seen you here before. You a visitor? Welcome. On behalf of the Spacer's Choice family, let me welcome you to, where am I again?
Edgewater.
Edgewater, jewel of the Vale. May the law bless our beloved cannery with 100 years of, what's it called? Productivity. That's the one. Yep, that's us. Productive.
I think you had a little too much to drink.
Oh, it's fine. I'm only on my third bottle. I don't start heaving up my guts as long as I can count to 3. Company lets me imbibe as much zero-G brew as I can afford. Even gave me a discount on account of my injury. You jealous yet?
You were injured?
Yep. Got my mid stuck in a rotor wheel. Shredded my wrist up real good. Conrad went and sewed up my hand, but I couldn't do much about the pain. Boss was real generous to me, though. Got myself a 5% discount on zero-G brew. After the second bottle, the only pain I feel is emotional.
You sound like you need a surgeon.
Hey, Conrad's a surgeon. Well, he's a barber. That's like surgery, but for your hair.
I'll leave you be.
Staying long?
Somebody's been rambling about some colony ship. Wonder what that's about.
Our words is spreading apparently. Cannery.
Almost lost a finger in the cannery today.
We should keep our voices down.
Staying long?
We don't get a lot of visitors.
Constable. So this is a police station.
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing a promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th one's free.
If you need help with a marauder problem, I'm for hire.
As a Spacer's Choice constable, I am authorized to grant you legal authority toward apprehending wanted criminals. Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
I've got some questions for you if you don't mind.
As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity.
Does the name Phineas Wells means anything to you?
His likeness decorates many a wanted poster. Do you have any relevant information about this individual?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Looks like there's a bounty on his head.
You're correct. An outstanding bounty has been posted for information pertaining to the whereabouts of Phineas B. Wells.
Never mind.
Interesting jumpsuit you've got. And by interesting, I mean suspiciously reminiscent of contraband.
I've got some questions for you if you don't mind.
As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margin.
So, who do you work for? Spacer's Choice or Edgewater?
If this is a setup to a joke, you should know I've never found anything amusing in my life. I don't serve Edgewater. Edgewater and the entire region of Emerald Vale serve Spacer's Choice.
Who does Spacer's Choice answer to?
Spacer's Choice is a wholly owned subsidiary of Universal Defense Logistics, which occupies a seat on the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, also known as the Board. I must admit it bothers me that you don't already know this.
So you're basically a bureaucrat.
Flattery won't get you anywhere with me. The bureaucracy is a noble profession, but not all of us are gifted enough to serve in it.
There was one other thing.
Something to report?
Nothing. Goodbye. Wanted. William Gill Antrim. Background: former Spacer's Choice associate mechanic. Terminated from his position. Constable's memorandum. The Spacer's Choice Department of Retirement, Termination and Restitution has filed a writ of execution for William Gill Antrim, effective immediately. Some of you may remember Gill Antrim from his days in the cannery. Please be advised that Spacer's Choice no longer recognizes Mr. Antrim as a member of its valued family. Spacer's Choice advises its worker in good standing to remain in good standing by disabusing themselves of any sympathy, allegiance, or memory towards Mr. Antrim. Generous bounty, payment on delivery, must be able to sign your own name. See Constable Reyes for details. Wanted. Doc Mabel Burgess. Background: former Spacer's Choice physician. Abandoned her duties and disappeared from Edgewater. At large and considered dangerous. Constable's memorandum. The Spacer's Choice Department of Retirement, Termination and Restitution has filed a writ of execution for Doc Mabel Burgess, effective immediately. Doc Mabel is wanted for 3 counts of larceny, 2 for each parcel stolen at Reno time, and 1 for depriving the outpost of its official physician. Generous bounty. Payment on delivery must be able to sign your own name. See Constable Reyes for details. Wanted. Bertie Cotton. Background. Former vicar acting on behalf of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. Stationed to the Edgewater Vicarage. Suffered psychological breakdown upon showing symptoms of plague, at large and dangerous. Constable's Memorandum. The Space's Choice Department of Retirement, Termination and Restitution has filed a writ of execution for Bertie Cotton, effective immediately. The Order of Scientific Inquiry has declined a response. Vicar Cotton's sermons are considered defunct and obsolete. Space's Choice advises purging them from your memory with the help of 0G brew, an ale that's good for what ails you. Generous bounty. Payment on delivery must be able to sign your own name. See Constable Reyes for detail. Do we really want to kill these people? It sounds like they escaped from slavery, apparently.
Friend of mine died a couple weeks back. Still ain't past it.
Just the way it goes, I suppose.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson. Never been healthier.
Martin Abernathy.
Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy.
He's plagued. You want to tell me what's got you so nervous?
You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a man's own domicile, pestering him about his mental state?
So, you're Martin Abernathy.
What? No. I mean, I might be. That depends on who's asking.
I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just here to collect your graveside fees.
Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows.
We could lie and say, he told me everything. How long did you think you could keep a secret like that? We are not gonna do that to him. Knows what?
I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching. And soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows. He knows I got one foot in my grave, and now he wants to charge me for the other one.
You're being paranoid.
I am? Law, help me. Paranoia is one of the plague's known symptoms. I'll pay your fees.
Of course
I don't want
is.
any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help.
How can I help?
There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me.
Whoa, not so fast. I've got some questions.
I'll do what I can.
Why can't you just buy some medicine yourself?
I tried medicating myself with adrenatime. Didn't do much for me, as far as I can tell. Anyway, I can't just buy medicine. Distribution of medicine is strictly prohibited to any workers beneath the acceptable margin of health. Company policy.
In other words, the company won't treat you because you're already sick.
More like the company won't treat me because I'm not healthy enough.
Potato, potato. Assume there are guards?
You will not find any guards within sight of that old place. Marauders, on the other hand.
Ah. What can you tell me about these marauders?
I have it on good authority. There's a gang of them squatting there. I advise stepping softly.
I've heard enough.
So you'll do it then?
I'll do it.
You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, Law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it.
Anything I should know about this community center?
Just keep your head down when you're in there. Marauders have taken over. Probably tracking mud all over the archives.
You're taking an awful risk trusting me, you know.
I know that. But I got nobody else to turn to. Reed would have wrote me up. Constable would have locked me up and wrote me up. Could have gone to see the good vicar, but I never did find my courage.
I'll leave you be. He's not gonna come after me like they do in Skyrim.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy. Excuse me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice Actuary. I overheard your talk with Abernathy. I hope you're not thinking about getting him that medicine. Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. You're better off selling it to me instead.
Medical. He's got symptoms of something. You're saying it's psychosomatic?
All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's got a lot of cobwebs up in his attic.
What do you need it for?
I probably shouldn't tell you. Don't want you implicated for what I'm trying to do.
Persuade. Let me worry about that.
Alright. Here's a summary. A lot of sick people in this town, and we don't have the medicine to treat them all. Can't reach out to corporate without crossing a river of red tape, so I'm reaching out to you.
I get it. You need someone to smuggle you medicine under the table.
Something like that. Look, I'm not in the habit of law-breaking, but sometimes you've got to do the wrong thing for the right reasons.
I'll think about it.
That's all I can ask of you.
So Abernathy or Esther? Well, Abernathy seems more paranoid than sick. And he can always, like you said, go to Vicar or something. While Esther genuinely trying to help people. So I think we are going to give it to Esther.
A friend of mine died a couple weeks back. Still ain't past it.
At least you got your help.
Workbench. Modifications. To install your mod, first select the item you wish to upgrade, then choose what type of mod you wish to install, scope, armor plating, etc. Finally pick the mod to install and boom, you upgrade it to your item. Which mod did we get? What the hell, I thought we got a mod. Oh, it's for ranged weapon. Alright, this is not red, so we can pick it up. Maintenance division. Trouble ticket 65565 filed by Thompson R. Summary: AG loaded serial hashtag 00237745 failure on startup. Status open. Priority medium. Steps to reproduce: 1. Turn on engine. 2. Try it again. 3. Try it again. 4. Kick the loader. 5. Curse injured toes. 6. I have to enter a minimum of 8 steps. 7. Try it again. 8. It makes a rattling noise. Maintenance notes: dang it, Clancy, I just got you back on your feet 2 weeks ago. Not that you got feet, but you know what I mean. Sounds like his status off axis again. We'll clean out and reset. Clancy's guts got caught and all pulled out, likely on account of somebody trying to restart him over and again. Need to rewind all this coiling in number 4. Case status working, but there's something else off. Have to wait until it's quiet and spin him up for a listen. Trouble ticket 65587 filed by Thompson R. Summary: failure of main cannery production line at heat processing. Status open. Priority executive. Step to reproduce: 1. Start a procedure line according to schedule S467001A. 2. Observe processing of cans. 3. Follow first batch to heat processing stage. 4. 1 or more loud popping noise. 5. Smoke smell of burnt saltuna. 6. Overheat klaxon on monitor 6. 7. Flames jet from exhaust ports. 8. Automatic shutdown. Maintenance notes: likely as not, Bess got indigestion from being more to eat something she ain't made to. Again, heading over now. Trouble ticket 65588 filed by Miller L. This issue has been open for 0 days. Summary: damn mechanicals. Status open. Priority low. Priority automatically reset to low by executive level admin rule applied by Thompson R. Reason: trouble ticket filed by Miller L. any trouble from Miller L is a low priority apparently. Step to reproduce: 1. Look northwise. 2. I said look northwise, blasted, use this translator. 3. Near scrap pile. 4. Could be northeast from town, I guess. 5. Observe mechanical. 6. Clanking about all menacing like. 7. See it. 8. It's right there. Maintenance note. No notes on these tickets yet. Whose room is this? Maintenance Division Personal Terminal. Welcome, Holcomb Robert. First entry. Indumati left Edgewater today. She's been reassigned to Terra 1. I kissed her goodbye at the platform and asked if I'd ever see her again. We both knew the answer was no. Look up and think of me as I look up and think of you. Robert. They won't let me keep her, but I know you will raise her with love. Perhaps more than I would make time for. You are patient and present in a way that I am not. The company says she has no name until you give her one. Her name is Parvati. They tell me her birthday will be set on the date she is legally delivered to you. She was actually born on July 7. Make her feel special when I can't. She liked it when I sang to her. It was the only time she stopped crying. Indumati. So Parvati is the daughter of Robert and Indumati, and Indumati gave Parvati to Robert. I sat up last night reading through the Young Spaces Guide. Almost started reading it out loud from habit. It's been 10 years, but I still have parts of it memorized. Reckon I'll take the next volume into work at the cannery. There's an unused office where I've been taking my lunches. May as well read the whole thing again. Isn't that a nice place to sit?
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders got in.
Just between us, Wilson deserted. Lost his nerve. Ran off in the thick of night.
You're kidding me. Damn. Always thought he was made of sterner stuff.
I think he was plagued. Guess he didn't want to die in the sick house.
Plague? Ah, shit. I had some of his salt tuna.
You moron.
You're safer. Inside the walls.
Some hullheads running around town talking about lost colony ships.
Yeah, that's me.
Carry on.
There is always some loot. And this goes out. Saltuna Cannery. Alright, I guess I'm gonna help myself. Notice the Edgewater Saltuna Cannery. Now, the Edgewater Saltuna canning facility strictly adheres to Spacer's Choice standards of health and safety. Notice, schedule your sick leave with your Spacer's Choice foreman and or supervisor. Be considerate towards others member of the Spacer's Choice family. Allow 2 to 4 weeks to produce and approve your scheduled sick leave. Last hours must be compensated to the company. See Reed if you are having trouble paying for your sick leave. We'll try to arrange wage deduction instead. So you have to pay for your sick leave as well. Remember, work investigates the spirit. Sickness in the body reflects sickness in the mind and sickness in the character. If you find yourself falling ill, it may be time to schedule a meeting with our local vicar. Vending machines. Vending machines offer a variety of items to purchase, mostly from one company. A hex skill of 20 or higher always allows you to sell items to the vending machine. Restricted items on a vendor can only be purchased when you have high enough reputation with the associated factions or a hex skill of 40 or higher. Light machine gun. light assault rifle, light pistol, revolver, and machine gun. I'm gonna lost in here. It's hard to track. Alright, I came from there. Impact hammer, but it's a steel. I'm not gonna steal it. What, this thing blows up or something? This is seriously an empty place. Running self-examination. Help yourself to a refreshing tin of Spacer's chaw while you wait. Geothermal facility query. The Emerald Vale region is powered by the Spacer's Choice geothermal facility. Spacer's Choice is proud to bring the colonist of Halcyon moderately innovative technology at a reasonable price. Spacer's Choice, the best you can afford. Disengage power regulator. Unable to comply, the power regulator unit may not be disengaged while the transformer is active. Oh, so this would disengage the actual power regulator, it's not a log. Query. Transformer shutdown. Failure. Transformer shutdown protocols non-operational. Query. Shutdown protocols. In compliance with Spacer's Choice engineering and development policies, shutdown protocols have been disabled on all transformers. This is to prevent illegal tampering, like us, upgrading or theft of a proprietary technology. Warning. Please avoid attempting to modify or tamper with Spacer's Choice electrical transformer while power is active. Doing so may lead to death, catastrophic injury, and irreparable damage to the transformer. Okay. I hope nothing happened. I wasn't there at all. I wasn't there.
I don't have time for this.
You're safer inside the walls.
Ah, the good old terminal. Terminal access, company notifications. From the office of Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. Symptoms of infection have now reached a critical mass. I have instructed our staff to transform the old domicile into a sick house. Plague is a reality of life on the frontier, and as a spacers, we are expected to face up to reality. And the reality is that we do not carry enough medicine to treat all of you. Medical treatment is a privilege, not a right. We must strive every day to demonstrate our worthiness of that privilege. If you find yourself suffering the symptoms of incipient plague, the best thing you can do for yourself and for your family is to don your jumpers and come to work. Work fortifies the spirit. Physical illness recapitulates spiritual weakness. So even if you are sick, work for us, because why not? Very, very depressing environment. Pickup Guide to Mechanical Engineering Volume 2. What the hell is that? Oh, this is a quest item. Alright. Ellis Granger.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, tenderfoot. I'm busy.
I'm guessing you're the foreman.
Foreman Granger. Mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by yes or right away or thank you.
Graveside fees. I'm here to collect.
Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
These papers aren't signed in your name.
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
That's kind of you, I guess.
I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
You said this guy shot himself?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Must be tough losing family.
Eugene wasn't family.
That's an awful thing to say about your closest relative. Now we're gonna say, I thought you said you were his closest living relative.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
That's a bit too literal. You can't be serious.
I'm plenty serious. In fact, I'm a little upset Eugene didn't think things through. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
He was a person, not an asset.
Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees. which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
Everyone has a price apparently in this community. I'll let you get back to work. Unless there is more conversation.
Somebody's been spinning a tale about a lost colony ship. Talk like that'll get you reported real quick.
I'd like to talk to you about Eugene.
I paid his burial fees, didn't I? Let the dead sleep.
No. I found your letter to Conrad.
Didn't anyone ever tell you not to go rifling through other people's correspondence?
You were planning on stealing Eugene's gold teeth.
Excuse you. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein already belong to Spacer's Choice. And we're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. Never mind. I don't have to explain myself to you.
It's like saying everything came from this earth, we came from this earth, so everything belonged to us. Let's just take it.
Don't make me report you to Mr. Top.
Another terminal. Foreman Phyllis Granger. Messages from R. Thompson. Phyllis, owing to your hard work and positive attitude, I have sanctioned your access to medical treatment in the event of contagion. As you know, the company has not provided us with enough medicine to treat every worker. I wish I could treat every member of the Spacer Choice family who fell ill to this plague, but I cannot. Medical privileges are strict merit-based. Please do not under any circumstance distribute your rations of medication to any other worker. We are all in this together. Personal files. Why not hack? Continue. Personal files. Last entry. Theodore buried last night. Reed asked me not to report his death in our quarter lies. Sounds fair to me. Was asked to prepare a settlement or something for the other workers. Been thinking about it. Don't know what to tell them. Don't end up like Theodore. Do your work. Show up. Wear a smile and you'll get your medical privileges. It's a start.
What's on your mind?
And there's the elevator music.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize.
Parvati.
Just try using small words for me.
The can's bust
Daughter of
open in the
Indumati,
oven
that
because
terminal
she's
we
set
read.
to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Uh-huh. Are you Reed? I was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I mean, my uniform. I think you may have the wrong idea about me.
Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Oh, so that's what that was under the cannery. If we wanna take their power regulator, we can too, apparently. Frying myself?
Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
I don't think these people will take kindly to losing their power.
No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Come home to slavery, apparently. Why?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
I've seen Edgewater. I don't blame those workers for walking out.
Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
How will I recognize Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
And there'll be name written on top of her head. These workers must have left town for a reason.
That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
Alright, Reed. I'll see what I can do to help you.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Sure, I could use the company.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get going. Companions. You gained a companion. They are characters that join you in your adventures and help you in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support. Their skill enhance your skills. They increase your carrying capacity. You can unlock special companion combat abilities with the inspiration skill.
If you could see your way to getting us our power back, I'd appreciate it.
I want to talk to you about something.
Go ahead.
Have you taken a look around town lately?
It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post.
Your town is falling to pieces.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
Hurt your feelings? You disagree?
Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do.
How long have you worked here?
I'm trying to remember, 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's Choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that.
You're loyal to Spacer's Choice.
This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude.
Let me ask you something else.
Go ahead.
We need to have a word about this plague.
Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up.
You withhold medicine from your own workers.
If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose.
That can't be easy for you.
It is not easy for me. And the moment it becomes easy is the moment I am no longer fit to serve. Spacer's Choice is a family, and the survival of the family is more important than the survival of the individual.
How long has this plague been happening?
That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent.
Medical. You should have developed an immunity after repeated exposure to a single strain of contagion.
Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end.
I should go.
Something on your mind? Go ahead.
What makes you think I can convince these deserters to come back?
That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town.
Sometimes people move on. It's the way of things.
Scripture tells us we all have our purpose in the world. Our work shows us that purpose. We should not have to move on from it. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on.
Perception. You and Adelaide have a personal history?
Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Salt Tuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored salt tuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint.
Let me ask you something else.
Go ahead.
If you expect me to talk to this Adelaide person, I could use a little information.
Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a salt tuna canning institution. Salt tuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible.
Don't you people eat anything other than salt tuna?
Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with salt tuna galore. No other brand of salt tuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, salt tuna is hard to come by, what with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world.
Hang on, so what are you canning here exactly?
Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of salt tuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate.
Ah, so you're lying.
Go ahead.
Lying and deceivement.
That you are not one of... I admit the fault was mine. Yes. Lose space ever...
Ah. I thought there was something else.
Go ahead.
I should go.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Comes now the power. Workers are abandoning the town of Edgewater. Reed Thompson, Edgewater's administrator, wants to force this deserter to return to town by shutting off their power. Well, that's all there was for the part 2 of the Outer Worlds. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.